Hi, people. I think it's time for an update. Um, as you can see, I am not in a hotel like my last update, which is kind of nice. I am renting a house out in the country, and I've decided to move out of my old place. Um, and I love it out here. It is quiet. There are birds outside uh, on the feeder. Um, I can go take walks in the forest every day, although I gotta watch out for ticks. Um, and it's it's really wonderful. I can't remember if I told you guys, but I have an Apple Watch, and um, I was getting notifications on my phone about when I would go back to my home village in Quebec, or if I'd go visit my parents. It was like, yeah, your heart rate has dropped, and your blood pressure is lower, and you seem to be happier. And then I would come back to the city, and all that would reverse. And so, with everything else that's been happening with my old house, with the fire and everything else, catch up on the last video if you haven't. My neighbor's house burned down, my house filled with smoke. Uh, with all that happening, I decided it was in my best interests for my health to move out of the city. So I did. And it's been really, really nice. I do miss certain aspects of the city. I miss being close to everything and being able to uh, get to things that were happening relatively quickly. Hi, Atta. Hi. She wants the window open. I'll open it. Good. How's that? Um, and yeah, so I miss being able to get to stuff quickly. However, I was already kind of living on the edge of the city, so it would take me 30 to 40 minutes to get to things anyway. And now I'm about an hour away from the city, so it's really not that big of a deal. Um, Getting to the city is not that tough. I just opened it for you. There you go. Um, so yeah, but I grew up in the forest. I did not grow up in a city, and so this feels much more like home to me, as much as home can get and still be in the same state. But yeah, I like it out here. That being said, the drama is still not over with my house. I still have none of my belongings back. I bought myself a couch, which you can see back there. There, right there. Um, but like, I've got my folding chair as furniture. I am sitting on a kitchen chair. My desk is a foldable table. And obviously, there's no art on the walls because all that stuff still has not been released. The work on my house is actually done. They repainted everything, put in new flooring, put in new insulation in certain areas where there was smoke damage. Um, and I plan on renting it out because I cannot sell the house. I can't sell the house because it's still underwater. Uh, it, in other words, the mortgage is higher than the actual value of the house, so I can't sell it. So my goal is to rent it out and to use the money that I'm making from rent to go right back into the mortgage so that I can pay it off and then sell it. Because I don't really want to be a landlord. That's never been my goal. Um, but yeah, the insurance company is being really, really slow in paying um, the vendors who did work on the house, to paying the vendors who have all my stuff. Um, all of this happened in the middle of December, and it's now May, and I still don't have my stuff. So all of my clothes are winter clothes. I don't have any of my summer things. Um, Although, I'm probably going to end up having a giant yard sale and selling most of my stuff because honestly, not having all this stuff is not bad. What I am really missing though are my shirts, all of my But Slavery Was So Long Ago shirts. I have boxes of those, and all my art because people are buying them. And I have to write a letter each and every time to say, hey, sorry, if you don't mind waiting, I will send you the shirts and the art later once I get it back from the insurance company. So, yeah, I'm still stuck in this holding pattern for now. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I just got back from a trip to Kawachikamach, the village that I'm from. I kind of go up about every quarter or so. My dad was teaching a course to the band office employees. The band office is the main um, place of tribal government, and he was teaching a course on Naskapi literacy to the employees, and so I went up and took part, and also did a lot of work. I do a lot of work for the tribe up there, trying to help with them with their communications, their website, taking photos, taking videos. I took a couple videos which show how to butcher a caribou, which is um, tribal knowledge that is slowly being lost, and so we're trying to preserve that. I'm also working on a book with a teacher, illustrating everything in the book. It's a song book that's entirely in Naskapi that will teach kids how to read and write Naskapi. Um, Naskapi is the language of the tribe. Sorry, I forgot to mention that for the newcomers. So yeah, it was a really good time. I'm also working on my Canadian citizenship. My entire family has Canadian citizenship, and I don't. And that's because my parents applied for Canadian citizenship when I was a kid, and it took the government 7 years to process the paperwork. By that time, I was already in college and had turned 18, so they said, you have to take him off of the application. He has to apply again on his own. They took me off the application. They got their citizenship. I tried to apply on my own by going to the Canadian Embassy in DC. They said, you are an American citizen going to college in America. You know, what are you doing? Why are you applying for any Canadian citizenship? So I wasn't able to. Now I'm in the process of reapplying on my own. I have to apply for permanent residency first and then apply for citizenship. So it's probably going to be a long-ish road, but my goal has always been to return to Canada, retire in Canada. So I love it up there. It's home, and having the citizenship will allow me to work and live in either country, which would be a really nice flexibility. During COVID, it was kind of scary because my parents got really sick and I wasn't able to go see them because the border was closed. If I had had Canadian citizenship, I would have been able to go. So, regardless of anything happens here, if I have the Canadian citizenship, I'll be able to take care of my parents and do whatever I need to do. So, in order to get citizenship, I had to take a English and French test. So I did that on my way back home from the village in Montreal, and I aced the English test. I don't think I aced the French test. I'm okay with French. I can order Subway in French, but my vocabulary is pretty limited. I've got the vocabulary of a teenager, and so I did the best that I could. The French test is basically extra points for me. The Canadian citizenship and residency is a point-based system, and so the more points you get, the higher you can go. So yeah, I did very well in the English test, so that will really help. And any other points that I get for French will, be just icing on the cake. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to be expensive. The full cost, I think, is going to be in the range of $5,000, which is a lot, but I think for my family, it's going to be worth it. While I was up in the village, tragedy struck. Um, when I was in high school and I graduated from the Naskapi school, I was one of three people that graduated. My friend Joanne was one of my classmates, and while I was up in the village, her daughter, um, her daughter committed suicide, and it really shook the community really hard. Um, her daughter was only 12 years old, and I was there. Her Joanne's boyfriend Greg, they took the body of Sandra, the little girl, to the clinic, the local clinic. We don't have a hospital out there, and her father, Greg, Joanne's boyfriend, was there alone with Sandra, and there was nobody with him. And so I was on my way to the band office to go to work. They had found her early that morning. I had no idea. And when my friends pulled up in a in a pickup truck and told me about the suicide and asked me if I would go to the clinic and be with Greg. So I did. I was there with Sandra and Greg for about 2 hours until the rest of the family and the rest of the community showed up. So that was very, very hard. Um, yeah, it was very, very hard, and unfortunately, I am used to things like suicide and drug overdoses and really horrible things. When I started in kindergarten, there were 30 of us, and I told you I graduated in class of 3. Um, and that was because of dropouts, pregnancies, suicides, and overdoses. So, unfortunately, I'm used to this kind of thing, but it's never been someone this young. And the community was terrified because in Native American communities, suicides um, can often lead to others. So everybody started getting really freaked out, and then everybody sprang into action. Um, they shipped up social workers from the South, healers, spiritual leaders. The bishop came up. Lots of people just came and flooded the community and are still flooding the community, providing activities for the kids, therapy sessions, interventions, all different kinds of things to try and make sure that something like this doesn't spread, because it easily can. And I was up there. I had planned to take a couple days off to go camping in the bush and just recharge. And when this happened, I abandoned all that and I just jumped right in and just started helping out as much as I could. And so that's what I did. I'm gonna upload some photos into Patreon, just so that you guys can see some of the community stuff that happened. But the whole community came together and embraced Joanne and Greg's entire family in a giant hug. And as awful as the situation was, I kind of wish that sense of community existed down here in the States, because it doesn't. um, when tragedies like that happen down here, people go silent and people don't talk about it and people don't have this, wild sense of community where they look out for each other, and I really really wish they did. So as awful as everything was, I was glad that I was there and I was glad that I got to experience that. So yeah, um, the other less important thing that happened is that I also caught the flu. I got really, really sick. I'm still coughing a little bit, but it laid me flat for like 3 days. So I'm still getting over that. I took a lot of pictures. I recorded a lot of video. I'm still processing all that. But as I get done, I will probably be posting more of that on here, so you guys can see. As always, I wanted to thank you guys for your support. It means so much to me. It's keeping me afloat. Right now I'm paying for renting this place, but I'm also paying my mortgage on my other place. I can't rent it out and move anybody in until everything is done with the insurance, and so I'm kind of stuck in this limbo. And your support really really helps. Um, I'm hoping that when things slow down and I can have more peace, that I'll be able to make more art and do more illustration. I have a whole bunch of ideas that I'm working on. I even drew a raven while I was up there. I saw this gigantic raven, and I drew it while I was there. I'll post that up later on. But just again, thank you so much for um, staying with me and being here. It means everything. I'll talk to you next time.